Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Nam Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Adaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Adaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Gurudev Jaya Jaya Guru Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Guru Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Ayam Vishnupat Paramahංsa Paripurajaka Acharya Ashtatara Satasijama Srila Bhaichana Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON BBT founder Acharya His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Vidas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki jai. Vrindavan Mathura Dham ki jai. मायापुर नवोदय धाम की जय, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, अल्लाह चौरी धाम की जय, भगवद गीता पाठ करी श्रोता करी भक्त बिंद की जय. गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. नमो ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण वैष्णवदले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी ते नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती विद्यावनि प्रचारिणे विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशताय. Hare Krishna, Prabhus and mothers, Joy Prabhu, welcome. Kamonia Prabhu, Somen Prabhu, Philip Prabhu, two Philips, and Mathura Prabhu. I noticed Mathura Prabhu, you called. I don't know if you left message or anything. Sorry, I could not. I was a little bit under pressure of organizing here. I have to leave tomorrow for 5 days, preaching tour in New Orleans. But I'll get back to you, definitely.
Yes, call me when you have time, Prabhu. I left a message, but
oh, you
when
did?
you have time,
I didn't check it. Okay, maybe I have to see it where it is. Thank you.
You're too busy being fully absorbed.
What can I do? I'm a very insignificant soul. Can't do too much at a time. So I have to be absorbed in what I'm doing. So insignificant, just can't do it. So please forgive me. So let us begin today's discussion from chapter 9, where we left. According to my note, we are beginning from text 22. So just to have a little refresh every week we do, that overview of chapter 9 is that text 1 to 3, developing one-pointed bhakti by knowledge about Krishna. By knowledge about Krishna. So in that regards, it's very important that in Bhagavatam, Krishna explains, because we are discussing so much, and you all actually are scholar, you are learning a lot of knowledge, acquiring knowledge, a lot of gyan. And hopefully, all that we are acquiring, we are also applying. Because without application, there won't be realized. And the revealed knowledge is what we want. Prabuddhe Jnana Bhakti Bam. Brahma Samhita says when the experience, spiritual, wonderful experience is excited by means of two things. One is cognition, means you are aware Krishna's this experience that you are delighting, you can say, whatever it is, whether it's a kirtan or harikatha or chanting japa, it should give you service and cognition together when it is excited. That will definitely cause to attain, no, not attain, awakening love, not attain. We're not trying to attain love of God. I hope you all Clear on that. We're trying to awaken. It is there, awaken. A big difference. Then you are in a proper track. This is a symptom of actually Bhagavad Prema Lakshana. Krishna himself spoke this. I believe it's 57 or 58 in Brahma Samhita. It's very fascinating verse, beautiful verse, that how Bhagavad Prema Lakshanam, that the symptom of pure love, when you are experiencing something you really like, or you are hankering towards that a strong way, or you found some greed within you. If it is exciting with service and cognition, knowledge, both, not just experience. Experience itself, according to Krishna, is not symptom of pure bhakti. Means it has to connect with both. That you see the connection, how it's pleasing Krishna, and it is also bringing you to serve. So first, when you acquire knowledge, how do you apply? And then we will, okay. So in order to do that, if you look at it when you have time, 11 canto 20 chapter 27 verse. So 7 things. First is acknowledging, means analyze and comprehend. That's what it is. Then you will regret your being conditioned in the material world. Oh, Krishna, please forgive me. Why did I come here? I'm so sorry. Please, Prabhu, accept me back. Regret must come. Acknowledge, when we understand this philosophy, that means regret will come automatically. If regret is not coming, that means we are not actually grasping, or we're just hearing. It's not really entering inside our consciousness. So acknowledge means, understanding means regret has to take place. What is regret means? Self-criticism. Why did I come to material world? I misuse my free will. This is not good. I do not want to do that. I don't want to do that. And you really feel like this, then it is a good sign. The third is you will ask for forgiveness. Now I did mistake, I'm regretting. That's not enough. Begging for forgiveness. Please forgive me, my Lord. Please forgive me. And then that is not enough. Fourth is accept correction. I want to rectify myself. I want to really think whole life about Krishna. I'm going to lead my life towards there to reach that satisfaction to Krishna's senses. You really literally make a decision. I want to rectify. Then when you say, well, I want to rectify, that means you have to, next, you have to assume responsibility. You are fully aware. What are you doing? Why are you doing? Prabhupada was fully aware. Not that you will get the result, your expected result. You will be fully aware why you didn't get expected result. Nothing will bother you. And then you become selfless servant and you start acting on that platform. Selfless servant. That's why this 4 quality develops. Trinadopi sunichena tarodopi shaishnana amani namana dena kirtaniya sadhani. It'll be very easy because you want to adapt it. You will really ask for it and you'll start imbibe within you. At that time, Prabhus and mothers, naturally we will be able to think of Krishna, meditate, serve his devotees, surrender to him. You will have a joyful servant experience. And this is what King Parikshit expressed to his mother when he was about to leave. Generally, in early day, in my childhood, I was told, when somebody is about to die, you just think like a peaceful time. Because this, just before the class, I had some discussion with a group of people in Palm Beach, where this girl, um, she just got initiated by Radhanath Maharaj. Madhuri Radha Devi Dasi just passed away. So they had her body. So I was talking to the audience through this, what they call video, Skype, something like that. So it's very important. It's very joyful, actually. Our journey is very joyful. I hope all of you will agree. If not, you have to align. Make this journey. Yeah, it's maybe materially maybe struggle getting up early morning, chanting, but actually within inside your heart, in your consciousness, you are actually happy, joyful that you went through acknowledgement, regretting, repenting, accepted the corrections, or ready to rectify, then assume responsibility, and you became selfless servant. And that is very important. That is very important. Okay, with that note, let us begin our 9th chapter. We discussed last week also that we are up to 122. 22. So first 3 sloka emphasize for attaining Krishna or supreme result that Krishna mentioned to Arjuna. Arjuna asked, what is the easiest process? So then Krishna answered that you should know my confidential knowledge in both in its intellectual and experiential dimensions. And Krishna says, I shall impart to you, Arjuna, because I hope you all remember, because he was non-envious. We talked about it, that there are 10 ways to look at it, whether still I have some envy within me or not. And when someone is non-envious, actually deep meaning of Bhagavad Gita will be realized. And that is most auspicious, Krishna says. So then Arjuna asks, why is this knowledge so special? You are giving so glorious position, this knowledge. Then Krishna says, because it is the king of all secret, king of all knowledge, because it purifies. When you hear and apply, it will purify. It is directly realized through personal experience. It is not an idea like, oh, when you die, you'll go to Krishna. No, you will feel Krishna's presence within you before you die. It's not just an idea, it's a reality. And it can be practiced joyfully. And you will have that conviction how Krishna, yourself, your relationship is imperishable. So for receiving this knowledge, Arjuna asked why non-envious mentality is important. Why non-envious mentality is important? Somebody may say, I can be envy and acquire knowledge. Krishna says, no, that's not possible. Because if you are envious, you are faithless on these words. You may have a faith with the material thing, but not spiritual thing. On the spiritual subject matter, you will be faithless because you are envious. That's scary, actually, I thought, because when a lot of things I don't remember in spiritual life, like I heard, or you think like, why I cannot hold it, or why can't I apply it? Why can't I experience this? Because I have some enviousness. We have to get rid of that. So then Arjuna asked, what is this knowledge that you will be imparting? You said envious will not get. And then Krishna went little further. Krishna says, actually, when you don't have when you have enviousness, you don't have a faith, that means you will not believe what I'm speaking. At that time, you will suffer in this material world, life after life. So we have to be non-envious, which will bring us to faithful, and then we will hear everything Krishna says is correct, and we'll go back home, back to God. So from that size, I'm sure some of you heard that, oh, you cannot serve Krishna with envy. Other day somebody says, right? We cannot serve Krishna with envy. Yeah, I remember. I think Shamkunda Prabhu or someone was telling me, right? I said, yes, Krishna says this. You look at it. First, second, third chapter. First, second, third, three sloka in the beginning of this chapter, nine chapter, first three sloka. That's what it says. It's very nice. So then Krishna says, what is the Arjuna asks, what is the mysterious about this relationship you have? Krishna says it is mysterious because everything is within me. All the creation, every living being, the entire existence within me. At the same time, they are not within me. Well, that sounds like contradiction. He said, no. Behold my mystic potency. Pashyame jogam ishwaram. Very sweet verse. Means Krishna and Krishna's potency. Krishna's, these two, not just one. It is Krishna, but Krishna's. Then Arjuna asks, why it is so complex, this relationship. Then Krishna says, it's like this if you can contemplate that everything is within me at the same time. I control everything at the same time. You also have a free will. How to understand this? So Krishna says, I'm like this. I'm giving an example. I'm like a weather. Weather is cloudy. So I control that. But in your car, if you want to go to a destiny, whether you will remain happy or sad inside the car, or you can complain about the weather, that's up to you. It's not up to the weather. So Krishna's control and our control are two different. They are always exist separately at the same time. Krishna's control like a weather. Nothing we can do about it. We cannot control the weather. It's foggy, rainy. Okay, that's what it is. But we can keep on complaining or becoming fuzz about it, or we can be happy inside the car and keep going. That is Krishna is not controlling. So that's why that relationship is very mysterious, Krishna says. So then Arjuna asks, when living being acts according to their free will, how do they abide within you? So Krishna answered, they are constrained within the boundaries of time. Time I am. Just like this young girl, She's just a little girl, but she talks. You'll be surprised, Prabhu's and mothers. In my discussion, the mother of that girl, she also got initiated by Radhanath Maharaj last month here in Alachua, Mother Radha Bhakti Devi Das. She told me after I finished speaking, she said, Prabhu, this is very surprised you are mentioning this. Actually, my daughter was asking me to forgive her. I mean, how do you hear 8, 9 years old girl asking mother before dying, say, Mother, can you forgive me for all this struggle I'm giving you? And I was like surprised. She's asking. I said, of course I forgive you. And then and then she said, I also asked her, please forgive me. I hope I'm not giving, I hope I'm giving enough attention. I hope you don't feel like I'm not taking care of you. I said, no, mother, you're taking care. So it's very sweet, 9 years old, a little girl how speaks like that. But it is possible. These things are very important. Before we leave this world, make sure you may you may think like I'm not holding on anything. Okay, but make sure nothing holds on you. Not that you don't hold on anything, but it has to be both way. So it's very important. So then Arjuna asked, when living beings act according to their free will, how do they abide you? So Krishna says that it is time. It is I am as the time, Kaloshmin. Kala or time, again and again, will begin in everybody's life and it sustain at the end. Kala, time has a 3 features: past, present, future. But in spiritual world, there is no time has any effect. There is no past, present, future. Even though you may say, well, they have a every day, they have a different lila, Krishna goes on cow pasturing. Yeah, but that's not actually under the spell of time like we face. It's to increase the rasha, they have this. But over there, nobody dies. Nobody has oh, you're 54 years old or 100. There is no such thing. It's always eternal. So it's wonderful. So then Arjuna asked, aren't such cycle of unmanifestation and manifestation, it's just this nature is doing? How is that you are doing, Krishna? It's a very nice way, conversation, this chapter. I mean, at least that's how I see it. So then Krishna boldly said to Arjuna, Arjuna, nature belongs to me, acting through my material nature. It is I who sends forth the entire multitude of being again and again. Bhutta, bhutta, praliyate. Prabhupada quoted that verse a lot. Bhutta, bhutta, praliyate. Again and again. It is I. There are 4 types of destruction. It's not in this chapter, but I'm just mentioning. But one destruction, that ultimate, attantiki pralay, ultimate destruction is not up to anybody, not even Krishna. It is up to each of us. We should remember that. Your material death, you better die to live, have the life like that. It is important. The last part of the death, called attantiki, it is not under the time. It is not under the body. Like body get old and body die. But the last death for each soul of material death, because in spiritual world there is no death and we never actually die. But our last death in the material journey is not up to Krishna, is not up to demigod, is not up to time, is not up to age or body or anything. Guess what is up to? You. Each of us are responsible when we want to literally let go everything. So this is very unique, very practical. Then Arjuna asked, if you send living being into this world suffering, aren't you responsible for that? For their bad karma and their bad thing? When Prabhus and mothers, when you meet Arjuna, thank him for asking all this question on behalf of us. So Krishna says, well, the action does not bind me, Arjuna, because I'm seated in their heart. Yes, I'm aware what they're doing, but I'm neutral. I'm not involved. They are desiring, each soul is desiring, and I'm sanctioning if they deserve. And they are going with it, good and bad. I have nothing to do. But when they turn towards me, then I take responsibility. Until that, I'm neutral. Therefore, I don't go through suffering or anything material. They do. So then Arjuna asks, okay, if you are neutral, what is your role in the working of material nature? Can you be more specific? Now, Prabhu's and mother in the sloka exactly didn't say like this, but this is how I understand. Like Krishna says, I am its overseer. Under my supervision, Maya Dakshana Prakriti, Shuyatesha Characharam, Hetunanena Kunteya, Jagadi Parivartate. Very beautiful verses these are. That under my supervision, material nature gives rise to all beings, moving and non-moving, within its rules, Arjuna. The universe revolves, living beings function within the boundaries of material nature and held accountable by its laws, such as the law of karma. Arjuna, out of his compassion, he asks Krishna, when you are overseer of the material nature, why doesn't everyone understand your divine position? That you are above all and you are actually behind everything. Then Krishna reveals, Arjuna, everybody don't know. There are few reasons. One reason is they are deluded. They despise, they deride me, even though I come to this world, but they think I am another human being. They do not respect me or accept me as Supreme God. And Prabhus and mothers, now all of you may think like, well, why people would do that? Don't ask that question. I ask that to myself. We would not do that. But you ask your neighbor who may not be interested. And after discussion, is sure that guy said, yeah, I would ask him, why should I accept him as a God? So Duryodhan, after all this whole thing, before he dies, before Bhima really finish him, by lower part of his body, and even though Krishna helped, Duryodhan asked, if you are a god, why are you helping only Pandavas? Why not us? What kind of god are you? Now tell me, Prabhus and mothers, how many times Duryodhan confronted and still he is challenging to Krishna? This is the nature of this degraded soul. I mean, it was with me. Now I would not act like this, but I can see within me, I could ask Krishna like this. Then Krishna told Duryodhan, do you know how many times I have come to you for a little favor? Even though I let you know, it is me who is the owner, possessor of everything in this creation. But you would not buzz with a little thing even for the Pandavas. You never accepted any of my proposal. Why do you think I should let you control this world or rule the world? My devotees Pandavas, they deserve to rule. Nivedita Atma Bichikir Shitame. Nivedita Atma. These Pandavas, they are completely surrendered to me. They deserve all But Prabhu's and mother, Krishna is not looking for his own. When he won the war, he did not sit in a throne. Oh, now I am God as the ruler. No. He let the Pandavas enjoy. He's not looking for anything. He just wants everybody to be happy. But he will not force somebody to surrender to him. Then Arjuna asked, what is their fate? Their hopes, their actions, their knowledge. Krishna said they are all futile. Because their consciousness is misdirected. They end up abiding in fiendish, demoniac nature. Moghasha, moga karmana, moga gyana, vichetasha. Text 12, you can see. It's beautiful. Krishna explained, this chapter is so confidential. Then Arjuna asked, what are the characteristics of those who do understand? Beside those bad people, there are also good people. Then Krishna answered, yes, they are called Mahatmas. They are great soul. With our nectar of instruction, we just learned that the soul is middle marginal energy of Krishna. He has the option of external or internal. What does that mean? Means soul cannot exist by its own independent existence. It has to be always under. Anisha Jiva Rupena. You have to be under another potency. I hope everybody heard me clearly. No soul can be on your or her own existence. You exist individual, but under another potency, either internal or external. That choice is up to you, not internal or external or Krishna. It is up to each of us. We make a decision to be under external or internal. So then Krishna explains, those who are under internal, they are called Mahatmas. And they abide by my divine nature and worship me single-minded, knowing me as the imperishable source of all being. Then Arjuna asked, what external characteristics of those great soul devotee has? Prabhus and mothers, I'm talking about you all. So Arjuna asked a beautiful question. How would I know they are under internal potency? So Prabhus and mother, you can check right now. Here Krishna answered, text 14 in this chapter. He said, they glorify me. Isn't what we do in the morning? As soon as we wake up, we start chanting Guru Bandhana. Krishna likes this. Krishna loves when you glorify Vaishnavas and your Guru. There's a 10th canto, 80 chapter. I forgot the verse number, 34 or 24. Anyway, that verse says, Naham ijja prajati bam tapasa upasamenava Guru Tushyaham sarvabhutatma Tushyam sarvabhutatma Guru Shususaya Jatha. That's right. Thank you, Krishna, for reminding me. Guru Shususaya Jatha. When you please your Guru, it pleases me, Krishna says. I am not pleased by your brahmacharya, tapasya, or varnasam, or you are a first-class brahmana. Krishna says, I'm not pleased by that. I'm pleased by when you are pleasing devotees. That was very powerful. So when we get up in the morning, we go to temple or in your house, what do? Samsara dava nalalira loka tanaya karuna gana ganatam. Pratasya kallana gunana vasha vande guru sri charanaravindam. We glorify Prabhupada. That pleases Krishna. We should think like this. It is not only for Prabhupada's pleasure. We are singing actually pleasing Krishna. When you glorify Prabhupada, Krishna says it pleases him. So this is very beautiful. This is the text 14. And then Arjuna asked, okay, there are some people who don't care about you, like Duryodhana type of mentality. And there are some people who loves you, like ISKCON devotees. I mean, Arjuna didn't mention ISKCON or Duryodhana, but I'm just putting it because that's by the quality you see. Between these two extremes of those who deride you and those who adore you, is there any other category, people? Krishna says, yes. Those who try to gain knowledge by performing sacrifice. They arrive at three conception. The famous verse 9:15. Ekattena prithakattena bahuda vishyata mukha. So Krishna recognized those impersonalists, even though they are non-devotee, I would not say bad, that they are also soul. But Krishna recognized. It's very interesting. Krishna actually recognized them as a worshipper of him, even though they are not worshipping him directly. So it's very interesting. If you look at that verse 9:15, that's what Krishna says. Then Arjuna asks, what is lacking if sacrifice lead to the conception of the divine as oneness? Is there something missing in that understanding? Krishna answered, those performing such sacrifice don't know that the oneness that underlies and unites all aspects of sacrificial ceremony is me. I'm the ritual. I'm the sacrifice. I'm the offering. I'm the healing herbs. I'm the sacred chant. Oh, I'm the clarified butter. I'm the fire. I'm the pouring out of the oblation. Krishna says, I am everything. So that's very interesting. So then Arjuna asks, does your unifying oneness extend beyond the sacrificial ceremony or just within the sacrifice? Then Krishna says, actually it extends to the entirety of existence. And then Krishna says, Gatir Bhatta Prabhu Shakshini Ba Sharanam Suri Prabhava Pralaya Sthanam Nidhanam Bijam Abhaya. I am both the object of knowledge and the means to knowledge, which includes any purifying agent. The sacred syllable Om, Rik Sam Jojur Atharva Vedas. I'm the goal. I'm the sustainer. I'm the master. I'm the witness. I'm the abode. I'm the refuge. The most dear friend. I'm the creation. I'm the annihilation, foundation, treasure, house, imperishable seed, everything. Then Arjuna asks, how do you sustain existence like that? Krishna says, you have to see in a subtle way. I give heat. Prabhus and mothers, you all had a prasadam today. Are you digesting? Be honest. No, you are not digesting. It is Krishna who is digesting in your stomach. Give him credit. I mean, we enjoy the taste of the prasadam when we eat, but we don't know how this actually whole food process gives us nutrition, protein that we need, keeps our body healthy. It is him who is digesting. Krishna says, I send the rain. And then, of course, he was very straightforward. He said, I am also ultimately cause of death, immortality as well. So then Arjuna asks, what's lacking if those who perform sacrifices end up conceiving the divine as the multi city of deities? Then Krishna answered, they don't know that it is me whom they are worshipping. That they are appeasing. For an example, Krishna says, I am the shark in the aquatic. Now, if you start worshipping shark, but you're not thinking of Krishna, then you're not really worshipping Krishna. Even though Krishna says, I'm the shark amongst the aquatic. So there is a fine line. Okay, when you see the shark, okay, that's Krishna. But then it will remind us Krishna and it will take us to Krishna, not to shark. Stay there is the shark. And if you meditate on the shark, next life you become a shark. You don't become Krishna, you don't go to Krishna. So that idea, hopefully, is clear. Then Arjuna asks, what is wrong if someone just meditate like that? Krishna says the wrong is it is temporary. All these phenomenon in this material world, whether going to heaven or hell or all these things, is all temporary and it exhausts. You will be with nothing at the end. That's why those who follow three Vedas, desire to fulfill their worldly desire, stay in the state of going and coming, taking birth, death, old age, disease, birth, death, old age, disease, like that. So then Arjuna asks, how can they attain something more enduring? So that is today's chapter. Krishna says, by worshipping me. For those who keep their thoughts on me without deviating, those who serve me without wavering, I become the provider of what they don't have and protector of what they have. So, Prabhus and Mothers, I would like somebody to help me with the reading. Chapter 9, text 22. We are beginning today with that.
I'll take it.
Okay.
All right. Ananyas chintayanto mam yajana paryupasate tejam nitya biyutanam yoga shemam vahamyaham. All right. Synonyms. Ananyaha, having no other object. Chintayanta, concentrating. Mum, on me. Yea, those who. Janaha, persons. Paryupashate, properly worship. Tesham, of them. Nitya, always. Abhiyuktanam, fixed in devotion. Yoga, requirements. Shemam, protection. Vahami, carry. Aham, I. Translation. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack, and I preserve what they have. Purport. One who is unable to live for a moment without Krishna consciousness cannot but think of Krishna 24 hours a day, being engaged in devotional service by hearing, chanting, remembering, offering prayers, worshiping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, rendering other services, cultivating friendship, and surrendering fully to the Lord. Such activities are all auspicious and full of spiritual potencies, which make the devotee perfect in self-realization, so that his only desire is to achieve the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a devotee undoubtedly approaches the Lord without difficulty. This is called yoga. By the mercy of the Lord, such a devotee never comes back to this material condition of life. Kshema refers to the merciful protection of the Lord. The Lord helps the devotee to achieve Krishna consciousness by yoga, and when he becomes fully Krishna conscious, the Lord protects him from falling down to a miserable conditioned life.
Very good. Thank you, Philip. So this is a beautiful verse. If possible, memorize it. If you cannot memorize the Sanskrit, at least the English translation, because this will help you in your journey. We still have some time, hopefully, any moment we may leave, but still it is very important. So this verse says, Ananya Chintay Anto Mam. What is Ananya? Vallabhacharya, a small pastime I'll tell you. Vallabhacharya, a famous acharya, teacher in other line, not in our line. But he was also, you can say, associate of Rupa Goswami paths in Vrindavan for some time. He met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu few times. One time, Vallabhacharya fell in love with Krishna, so he went to Vrindavan. And so because he's very famous, big acharya, he has a disciple. So they are going, for front party, and then marching party like this, for a big program. So front party, some devotee, they're making sure the road is clear. Vallabhacharya is coming with a big procession in Vrindavan. Those days, Vrindavan is just a remote village. Nobody knows Vrindavan is such an exalted place. It is Mahaprabhu who discovered. So Vallabhacharya going, and this man, his follower, he said, everybody move, move. The procession is coming. Please make the road. So he came to one Brajavashi. He said, move. He said, move? Why move? He said, don't you know Vallabhacharya? He said, I don't know anybody. He said, you should know Vallabhacharya. He is Ananya Bhakta. He said, Ananya Paranna, all this I don't know. Just leave me alone, I'm busy. So this conversation going on. And Vallabhacharya already arrived there with whole thousands of devotees. He is hearing the conversation. So he went nearby to the Brajavashi. Say, excuse me, sir. You said some certain thing I never heard in my life. He said, what did I say? He says, when my disciple asked, please move. Vallabhacharya is Ananya Bhakti. He said, Ananya, Paranna, all these things I don't know. He said, I never heard what is Paranna, all this word. Ananya I heard. Krishna even said, this verse, if you look at the verse, Krishna used that word, Ananyas Chintayanto. Began with the word Ananyas Chintayanto. So can you explain me what is the other words you are saying? He said, what is Ananda? So then he said, well, you tell me why your disciple said you are Ananda Bhakta means. So he said, then Vallabhacharya was explaining this Brajavashi. It takes many lives to come to bhakti, pure bhakti. So one life you develop some attraction, you appreciate the nature, and that makes you to be a Shakta, because nature is Shakti. So you become a Shakta. Shakta worshipper means energy worshipper. The next life you become a demigod worshipper. So he said, what is demigod? It's like, Indra, Varuna, rain god, sun god, moon god. Moon gives the nourishment of the vegetation. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. So he was explaining so many demigods. People worship demigods for particular things. I saw in India, people who worship Manasa Devi for snake, protection from a snake. They worship Manasa Puja. People worship Kali, Durga, Saraswati, even in America. A lot of Indian races, they worship Saraswati to get education or knowledge, whatever purpose. And the people worship Lakshmi for money, wealth. So he was explaining, after that, He said, then after by the association of advanced devotee, one come to a point is all useless to worship all this. If you worship just one personality, Supreme God, Vishnu, Narayana, that's all. You don't need to worship anybody else. You become his devotee. And this is called Ananya Bhakti. So now you tell me, what do you meant all this? Ananya Paranya, you said to my disciple. So this Brajavashi said to him, all this explanation you gave, I have no idea, neither I have interest. I only know Nanda Maharaj, his son, Radharani, Mother Joshoda, and Brajavashi. That's all. I don't care about anything else or any. I'm not interested. This is called Paranya. And Braja Ballavacharya was like, wow, this is far out understanding. They are so attached to Krishna and Mother Joshoda, Nanda Maharaj, Brajavashis. They don't care for whatever. Whenever they need something, they go to Krishna. They are not thinking which God to worship. They just go to Krishna. And Krishna gives the solution. Of course, Krishna is the Supreme Lord, but still the relationship is based on this. So this is called Ananya. Now, one who fixed the mind called Ananyas Chintayanto. Who? Je jana paripasate. Those who worship me. Prabhu's and Mother, worship is not just offering the items or article. You know, upasha means love. You adore this person. You love Krishna's beautiful face. You love Krishna's smile, Krishna's eyes, eyebrows. You love everything about this person. This adoring expression is called worship, not just offering incense. Those are also good, but not enough. There has to be some reciprocation. Krishna is a person. So then in this verse he says, Jogoshkema Bahami Aham. Tesham Nittabi. No, it says Jejana. Okay. Tesham Nittabi Juktanam. Those who constantly absorbed in me, in devotion to me. Jogoshkema Bahami Aham. I protect what they have and I provide what they are lack. This is very important. Can we have a strong faith on this verse? Then you will never worry about your life. I'm talking to myself too. This is a verse which illustrates personal intervention, personal care, which Lord takes for those who approach Him personally and devotionally. Now we see the principle which Krishna has talked about, 4.11, the Je Jathamam Prapaddate Tangstadeva Bhajamyaham. As people surrender to me, I reward according to. Now here, Krishna is elaborating the principle by telling if someone approaches with pure devotion, he reciprocates accordingly. He takes as his responsibility, Prabhus and mothers, to take care of them. Not just his responsibility, his personal responsibility. Bahami aham. We should not think this is like a business arrangement. Why Krishna is making such stiff demands? Krishna is saying, you have to do chintam of me, think of me, think of me. You know how you can think of someone? When you see that person's affecting your life. When somebody is beautiful, you look at that person 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. When somebody has a wonderful quality, you think of that person. What causes our thinking of that one person? When that person's presence affects in our life. Oh, that person cooks so good. Oh, that person always appreciate. That person feels good, my presence, even though I'm not good person. But that person, Krishna's quality has to be focused. More we focus on Krishna's quality. Guna Krishna hoiya kare nirmala bhajan, bhakta deha paile hai guner smaran. When we act like a devotee means we are attracted by Krishna's divine qualities. When we focus on Krishna's qualities, then we can feel that attraction automatically. And point here, it is not a business arrangement. It is a point here that reciprocation. Anannas chintanto is an obligation which we have to follow in resentment. Anannas chintan, the word anannas chintan happens naturally when one fixes mind on him. Because when one loves him naturally, one fixes mind on him. So this is bound of love Krishna is talking about. Ananya's chintan is demonstration of that love. So these who love me naturally love them. This whole material world is an expression of love of Krishna. As living entity can fulfill their desire, come back to him for eternal happiness. But those who love him, he naturally reciprocates with him and love even more. So now we may think that constantly thinking of Krishna is very difficult. We have to understand it is a discipline, it is a practice. The wonderful thing about Krishna is more we think about him, the more we become purified. When we become purified, naturally all attractive Krishna will manifest to us and we fall in love with him. Then thinking about him become natural for us. So in the beginning, I hope you all got it. You have to cultivate. You have to practice. Chant his name and think of his form, beautiful form. Think of him. Beautiful lips, beautiful nose, beautiful eyes, beautiful eyebrows. Just by meditating on eyebrows, your lusty desire will disappear. Wow, so powerful. Prabhupada mentioned his beautiful ears, his curly hairs, his beautiful fingers, his arm. Is not another living being. He's a supreme attractive being. As soon as devotee does not have to think about anything else, immediately the mind will go back to Krishna when we cultivate that. So for us, this verse shows us how much of love is there between Lord and the devotees. And the purer the devotion, the greater is the reciprocation of the Lord. Jogoshkema bahami aham. What does that mean? When Krishna is telling here that my blessings are provided not just as a material level, once we started caring for someone, we cannot differentiate. This is at soul level. So here I will care, but this is at body level. So I will not care. So we care for the complete person. Similarly, Krishna also cares for devotee as a complete person. Now, of course, he will care more for the soul naturally because the soul is the real person. But Krishna will take care of the material needs also when that is required. So Krishna is telling here, what I understand, two things. I protect what is required. I provide what you are lacking. If you look at the second line in the verse, very clearly said that. I protect what is required. I provide. So in this world, these are two main fears that people have. One is, if I have something, it will be stolen away from me. We have fear that what I need, I may not get, I may not have. Nowadays, people have wealth in bank, which is based on internet. So fear, as if the security code is stolen in a moment, I can lose everything. At least somebody told me that. So if I fall sick, if I don't have a health insurance, I'll be treated badly. So these are genuine fear which people have. So Krishna is telling here, I'll take care of this. He used that word, Jogoshkemam Bahami Aham. Look at that word, Jogoshkemam Bahami Aham. Normally, Jogo is used in the sense of connection. We use another meaning of Yoga in 9.5. Pashyame Jogomishwaram. Just see what Jogomishwaram, mystical opulence of mind. So Jogo means connection. So the connection which Krishna extends to us, that is also Jogam Aishwaram. Now here Srila Prabhupada, Philip just read, translated Jogoshkemam. Yoga as requirement and skemam as protection. So what it essentially means is whatever is required for yoga, I will provide and I will also protect. These are the two assurances of Krishna. Krishna is saying, if we take care of why of life, he will take care of how is of life. Why I am living? I'm living for the sake of service of for Krishna. Krishna will make details of how things will work out for us. Now, this does not mean, Prabhu's and Mother, we become impractical and utopian. You know, utopia. Prabhupada said ISKCON is not utopia. So, it is said about Srila Prabhupada, his head was in sky, but his feet was on ground. Srila Prabhupada spread Krishna consciousness. It was step by step, one thing at a time, systematically. Similarly, we can also do Krishna consciousness and our services with faith in Krishna's protection and provision. So devotees does not demand Krishna protection and provision. A devotee naturally serves Krishna and Krishna reciprocates by providing. So Srila Prabhupada was having 40 rupees, you all know, when he came to America. That 40 rupees was not convertible in dollar as that time. The trade, if you know, at that time, was a 7 rupees a dollar or something. USA was not that high. So you may think like $7, $5 or $6. Prabhupada had, that's all he had when he came. So Srila Prabhupada practically took that money and brought it back. So he did not even use the money also. Still, he was able to build this worldwide mission. How was that? It was Yogoshkemam Bahamiham. Krishna is providing. So this provision only for Krishna's pure devotee. Is it? Not necessarily, Prabhu. Example, Srivas Thakur, who was just clapping 3 times like this to maintain himself and his family. He was having so much confidence, and Lord Chaitanya said, even if goddess of fortune Lakshmi become poverty-stricken, Shivas, you will be provided for. Of course, this is rhetorical statement as goddess of fortune will never become poverty-stricken, but Mahaprabhu made a very heavy statement. Again, the point is, Lord will provide for those who will devote themselves to Him. Now, this doesn't mean that we don't think in practical terms. Point is, we should think only in practical terms. We have to think practically if we are doing something, whether we have financial support, whether it is going to work out or not. We will evaluate pros and cons, do SWOT analysis. All that is basic, which we will do. But beyond that, we will not think only in practical terms, because ultimately our faith is in Krishna. And Krishna can work in miraculous ways. So Jogosh came up, Bhami Ham. I'll protect, I'll provide. This verse, apart from its overall inspiring message, is also to be seen in terms of the context of previous verse 20 and 21. Krishna has talked about those who will do karma kanda will go to heaven. So they accumulate a lot of punya, piety, but that will not last long for them. For them, there is nobody providing. They may go to, Surendra Loka, heaven. But when punya or pious credit gets run over, they will fall back. Skine punne martalukam vishanti. Last week we discussed. Krishna says it does not happen to his devotees. Prabhus and mothers, karmis, gyanis, they all will run out. They will fall back. But devotees will not, Krishna says. Krishna says it doesn't happen to his devotees. So here again, Krishna is revealing his personal intervention, his personal role more as Bhagavad Gita is progressing. In the second chapter, 240, Krishna said, what one achieve in spiritual part, there is no loss. It will not reduce. So now Krishna is saying, for this principle, it is not that some impersonal law is acting. It is Krishna personally intervening. Krishna is saying, I will ensure for my devotees. There is no loss of diminution. That is very important to know. Now that applies especially for spiritual credit. Krishna is saying it is all round. I take care of them. I protect and provide. So devotees don't demand from Lord. Devotees simply serve the Lord. They focus primarily on the service. When Srila Prabhupada came to America, he was not primarily thinking how I will earn a living over here, how I will manage my finance. He was thinking, how can I preach? How can I make these people hear Krishna's message? How can I share Krishna's messages? And then, as an afterthought, I also have to arrange to manage for myself. Srila Prabhupada was not an Ethiopian. He has struggled to live in India. He was practically homeless after he took sannyas. I hope you all read Lilamrita. It's not like he struggled only here. He was struggling there also. During Banaprastha, he was staying in a well-wisher family and changing continuously. So fast that his mail could not catch him. So Srila Prabhupada was aware of practical difficulties. But Srila Prabhupada was not consumed, or you can say exhausted or dejected by those practical difficulties, because he saw beyond that. What did he see? Hand of Krishna. That is required for all of us. Hand of Krishna and protection of Krishna and empowerment of Krishna. So we have the determination. I am here to serve Krishna. How I will be able to do that? That will work out actually when we try to do something challenging for Krishna. Then we'll find that Krishna does help us. Then Krishna empower us. Initially, things may not be working out. Everything may be falling apart. Hey, later Krishna revealed this, how he will make things work out. And in this way, Prabhus and mothers, Krishna protects and provides for his devotees. Srila Prabhupada's purport we just read, that his only desire is to achieve the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a devotee undoubtedly approach the Lord without difficulty. That is called yoga. So he's talking about when we need to approach Lord, we need purity, we need mercy. So Krishna says, I provide that. That is provision, aspect as yoga is the provision for the sake of connection. And I'm looking at Srila Prabhupada's purport. By the mercy of the Lord, such a devotee never comes back to this material condition of life. So beautiful way he Prabhupada wrote. Skema refers to the merciful protection of the Lord. And thus the devotee marched ahead towards Sri Krishna. Thank you. Okay, we went little over the time, but we are okay. There are a few examples, but we'll discuss that later next. Because this is very important verse. Any further discussion or any sharing? Yes, Kamanya Prabhu. Hare Krishna. You have to unmute, Prabhu.
Sorry, Baba. Hare Krishna, Dhanvat to you and all the Vaishnavas. Very wonderful mentioning of Prabhupada, how he has completely surrendered and had a full-fledged faith in Krishna, and he traveled all over US. So Prabhuji, talking about this verse, right? Yoga Kshemam Vaham Yamo. So, and there is also a saying, I think in the Bhagavatam or somewhere, that Krishna says that whom I love or whom I shower my mercy, I take away everything from him, and so that all the his relatives and all these things, they will leave him, and then he comes to me. And here, I think you got what I'm trying to ask, right?
Yeah, the famous verse Prabhupada quote this. One time he was crying when he quoted that verse. Jasyaha manugrinnami harishye tad dhanam sanai. This is the Bhagavatam verse. But you have to look at Prabhupada's quote and clear understanding that it should not be contradictory. Now, Krishna, everybody is trying to come to Krishna, directly or indirectly. Now, when you want to go to Krishna, and you really, Krishna going to use you to deliver 1,000 people, but you don't let go your life. You want to still enjoy this world, whether you have a business or something. Then what happened? Krishna will really make you fail materially. Now, Prabhupada, was Prabhupada talking about his own life? I think so. He didn't say like that, but that's what he meant. In his pharmacy business, if you look at the last part, Lilamrita, even his friend taking the medicine on a credit that they will pay in future. And eventually none of the agent that was selling his medicine to other places would not pay him. It's like unbelievable. Finally, he saw, that's why he cried. He said, I saw that my medicine, my business was failing. And then his Guru Maharaj comes in the middle of the night. Abhay, take sannyas, go preach. It's time. He's like frightened. In 1968, one lecture he said, my daughter was not married and I was very much uncomfortable. Then my Guru Maharaj again comes. Again, Abhay, time for taking sannyas. Because Prabhupada has a purpose. Krishna knows, Krishna wants his purpose to fulfill, that he wants to deliver this Western world through him. He found him as a proper candidate. But Prabhupada was trying to see if he could do as a householder with the, to be honestly, his wife didn't cooperate. His family, nobody cooperated. Prabhupada says like this directly. Actually, it's true. I even found out from Pishima's son, Chandra Babu. I remember we used to go to his house in early 80s. None of the family member wanted to help him in Krishna consciousness. Now, if they would help, probably he would stay. I don't know. Just a guessing. Because they did not help, maybe it's Krishna's wish that they would not help. So we don't know. I don't know. I'm just speculating. He was a completely penniless. Even when he came for Vanaprastha, he was in Mathura, when he took sannyas. Even that he didn't have any money. So he was grinding something, making some medicine to sell to at least get some survival money. Even that, somebody took it away. Like nothing is working. He doesn't have money to buy a ticket to come to America. So he's asking for a free passage. Not in a luxury ship. It's like a good supplies, This Jaladuta was not a human carrier. That ship was a goods carrier, merchandise carrier. So he didn't have it. So Krishna actually, just to show us that even all this struggle, Krishna was there. Prabhu, to be honestly, like if everything is luxury, then we would give an excuse. Well, I'm not a luxury yet. So when I'm a luxury, I'll become a devotee. So Krishna is saying when you are pauper, like fakir or what do you call, homeless or whatever, the slang way you can say, pauper, like you don't have anything. You can nothing hold on to it. Now, if Krishna is not going to use someone for a big preaching, he doesn't have to give up anything, utilize everything, whatever he or she has. So we have to look at from that angle. If Krishna has a purpose, he's going to engage you for a particular service. And if you don't want to do it, then he will make you as a pauper or homeless, or I don't know the word means everything, you lose everything. But then not necessarily Krishna is engaging everybody for doing that. Krishna wants particular devotee, he prayed or they are qualified. Krishna wants to engage them to bring more soul back home. Does that make sense, Prabhu? We should not worry about that. Yeah. It is not for everybody.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. It differs from the person to person and how Krishna decides.
Yes, Prabhu.
Which way. Okay.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur was not a homeless. He was a magistrate. He had a good job. He had a good income. But he started taking a lot of risk. If you think that Jogi told him that he will destroy his family if he does not give up. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur also adamant. Said, no, I'm not going to give up. I'm a devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and you are trying to betray this process. You are claiming yourself as incarnation of Mahavishnu and you doing all these illegal activities, with the married ladies and all kinds of anyhow. So like Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I'm not going to give up. His daughter was about to die. His family got sickness. Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself got sick. but he does not give up. If he would give up, we would not talk right now. So why Bhaktivinoda Thakur did this? Because so that we can build a strong faith that Krishna will never reject us. More we take the risk to satisfy him, he will always protect us. But how he will protect us is a interesting mystery.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We should be always happy. If I can be used, if you can be used in Krishna's game, sure, life is successful. Look at after Prabhupada left 50 years over, we are still talking about him. The whole world, even in China, the communist government give a salute to Prabhupada. Thousands of devotees in China, they're glorifying Prabhupada because of his sacrifice, not because he has a pharmacy or a good family, not because of that, because of his dedication. How he dealt with his challenges is like unbelievable. Not complaining. Thank you. It's a nice question. Charles. Charles King.
Oh, sorry, it took me a minute to get from the mop bucket to the phone. So I have question and takeaway.
Yeah.
The takeaway is don't waste time worshiping demigods. You could be utilizing that time to worship the direct source Krishna instead of the indirect source through demigods. And then my question to you is, there was a devotee told me, I'm not going to use names because my Shiksha guru says it's not real good to use names, so I'm not going to use names. But this devotee told me that it's important that we do demigod worship also, as well as Krishna worship. So, what's your thoughts on this?
Like for an example, if your family, well, in your case, you are in a Western world, I don't think demigod is relevant, but question is valid. There are some Indian I saw that who has they are Kulo Devata. Kulo Devata means they are worshipping a particular deity or a particular demigod for so many generations. So in that case, they should not reject the worship. What they should do, they adapt Krishna consciousness. For an example, there are so many Shiva worshippers. So many. There are millions. Even in America, with the Western. There's a group I know. There are 60 of them, young Western boys and girls. They're not Indian origin. They're Western. And they are all Shiva worshipper. They are in North Carolina now. They moved there, big group. So in that case, what we suggest, they should worship Krishna, take Krishna Prasad and offer it to Shiva. Take Krishna Prasad, offer it to whoever the demigod you worship. This way, you're not neglecting what your forefather maintained. At the same time, proper respect to the... And that demigod, because that demigod was worshipped by your past generation, that demigod will be so happy, will give you a special blessing. Good example is Chandidas Prabhu. You will know his name because Lord Chaitanya was relishing. Chandidas was not a devotee in the beginning. He was a demigod worshipper. His brother was a devotee who was a poor, but Chandidas was a rich landlord of the whole village, was his. So in our pastime, we see that he never spoke to Durga, the Maya Devi, never spoke. He worshipped big temple, giant temple. But then one day, he came to the temple. He comes every day, morning and evening. He came to the temple and Durga Devi is speaking to him. I'm so happy with you for offering this flower. He was shocked. He was happy that Durga Devi is speaking, but at the same time he was shocked that I offer so many flower every day. Why now? Why appreciating now? So he asked, every week I offer so many flower. Today I only offer one flower and you are happy all of a sudden. What about all these thousands of flower I'm offering? Then Durga Devi said, this is the flower that your poor brother, he didn't want to steal from your garden because he knows that you are fanatic worshipper to me. Durga Devi spoke like this. But in his mind, he could not control and offered this flower to my Lord Krishna. Because he offered that flower without stealing from your garden, and the same flower you picked it up and offered to me, I smelled it as a mercy of my Lord. That's why I'm happy. And all these years, you never offered me any flower actually. You did see yourself offering flower to me, but I could not take it because these are not prasadam of Krishna, from Krishna. And I don't take, I'm not an enjoyer. I'm a servant, maid servant. Chandidas, after hearing the conversation, he said, I simply wasting my life. I should become a devotee. And he became a devotee. But when he became devotee, he became a very staunch, strong devotee. He apologized to his brother to look him down always because he was a Hare Krishna devotee. And he actually took initiation from his brother. He made this into Krishna temple. And also Chandi Devi, he kept his name Chandidas. And he offered her everyday Krishna Prasadam. He became so good devotee, Hare Krishna devotee, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to hear his realization. There are few great souls like Joydev, Chandidas, Vidyapati, Mahaprabhu would hear in Jagannath Puri. So I hope that makes it very clear, isn't it, Charles? We are not against demigod worshipper, but we are against improper worship of demigod.
Thank you for the explanation, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you. You are intelligent boy too. Mathura Prabhu, you have something to share.
Oh, I was really appreciating your point. You talked about how Krishna says we protect what is required and provide what is lacking, and it was so everyone's in the world, the material world, the material consciousness, we're having fear what will be taken away, or fear, what will, what I need to, it will be provided. And I was thinking, everyone that, because of that fear, they're running in their material life trying to solve that problem in their mind. So it's just, that's what they're doing all day long, every day long, trying to prevent that from happening. And they're creating such the problem is in their mind, instead of understanding that Krishna, if we turn to Krishna, he'll protect us. So amazing how just that simple concept, people then they're running in the material world in high gear, trying to prevent what that fear from coming true. And then it usually does come true. You see, like, I was thinking Dhritarashtra, he was, instead of taking advice of Vidura and taking shelter of Krishna, he's thinking, oh, I have fear that my sons will lose the kingdom. I have fear that we will lose power. Fear. He was warned, Duryodhan, you should just kill him at birth. You should sacrifice him for the kingdom. But no, I don't. I'm fear of losing my son. So, and his life was so hard because of it. It was so hard until eventually Vidura came back and said, you must now have you suffered enough? And you were like a dog eating from your enemy's plate, the scraps from your enemy's plate. Are you ready to let go? So all these attachments just was driving him to not turn to Krishna. And so anyways, that point brought that up for me. I was just thinking that.
Yeah, that's very true. Thank you for having this good realization. We can apply in our life like this. We should depend on Krishna completely. He will take care of us, and he will, as long as we depend on him. But mind tricks us, Prabhu. Mind will say, what are you going to get? Let's figure it out fast before you jump to surrender. Mind always wants to not go. What is the rush? Just wait. You can do it later. You don't have to do it now. It's a very trap. Maya is trapping like that. We can do it later. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Mathura Prabhu. Madasi Ishopanishad Devi.
Jai Hare Krishna. Dhanavat. Thank you for reminding me of that wonderful, beautiful pastime of Vindura and his brother, Dhritarashtra. It's such a sweet, loving exchange, that pastime. And also shares with everyone how attached we are to this material energy and how hard it is to surrender. Wonderful, wonderful pastime. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Haribol.
Thank you.
Jai
Nice to
Hare
hear
Krishna.
from you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you, Prabhus and Mothers. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Looking forward to see you all next Wednesday. Jai. Gaur